Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day today to join me for this A Moment of Mindfulness session. As you know, that this is a part of World Mental Health Day, which was yesterday, Sunday, the 10th of October. And the Royal Voluntary Service have put together a fantastic programme this week of wonderful sessions that are going to help you to take care of your mental well-being. So this week is called Mindspace Week, and I'm going to be here for 3 sessions this week. Today is the first one. And all of these sessions are going to be based on the NHS 5 steps to mental well-being. So I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about that today. So before we dive into this, thank you so much for joining me. Huge welcome to the Virtual Village Hall. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about me. And while I'm going on about myself, if you wanted to put some comments in the comments section, let me know where you're tuning in from today. That would be really great to see who's on the call today. So as I said, my name is Emma. I'm a professional coach and I have a special interest in well-being. So that means I partner with my clients to manage stress, to help them to develop a positive mindset, and to help them to implement a self-care strategy, because the combination of those 3 things really helps us to take care of our well-being, our physical and mental well-being, and together that really helps us to build resilience, so we have everything that we need to cope with whatever life has in store for us. And as we're all aware, the last 18 months have been pretty tricky, and we have all been suffering on the back of the coronavirus pandemic. And our mental well-being may or may not have taken a bit of a battering. So this is why the Royal Voluntary Service have put this week on. And hopefully I'm going to share some practical strategies with you this week and today to help you to take care of your own mental well-being. So as well as a coach, I'm also a positive psychology practitioner. So that means that I take information and the research studies from the field of positive psychology. Now, traditionally, psychology has also been about looking into what's wrong with us, whereas positive psychology is relatively new. It's only about 20 years old, and it looks into what's right with us. It helps us to look at our strengths. It helps us to look at how we can build on the good in our life. It helps us to look at what we need so we can flourish and thrive. So there's lots and lots of research studies that are coming out at the moment from the field of positive psychology, which I use in my coaching practice to help my clients to improve their mental and physical well-being. I'm also a mental health first aider, and I'm also a mindfulness teacher. So today we're going to be looking at a moment of mindfulness. And that's based on one of the NHS 5 steps to mental well-being. Now, on the NHS website, they call it practicing awareness, I think it is, or paying attention to the present moment. And in my world, that means mindfulness. So I'm going to explain what that means in a bit more detail in a second. So for those of you who are tuning in now, if you just want to put your name and any comments in the comments section, and just let me know where you're tuning in from today. If you've got any questions or if there's anything you need today, then please do pop that in the comments. I'll be happy to cover that off as we work through today's session. Okay, so what we're going to cover today, we're going to be looking at what mindfulness actually is. We're going to be talking about the many, many benefits of mindfulness, which is why I wanted to use mindfulness in this session. I'm going to be talking you through a guided mindfulness meditation, which is a really lovely meditation on the body and the breath. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to share your experience. You know, how did you find that mindfulness meditation? And there's going to be time at the end for you to ask questions, and hopefully I will be able to answer all of those questions. So let's kick off with what is mindfulness. There's a lot of buzz about mindfulness at the moment, and that's for a very, very good reason. So like I said, it's one of the NHS 5 steps to mental well-being. They describe it as paying attention to the present moment. And this means really just taking a moment to step out of the busy day-to-day life and tune in to what is going on in your thoughts. What thoughts are you having? What feelings are you experiencing? What's actually present for you right now? And then also giving you the opportunity to tune into your body. So what does your body feel like right now? And very often we don't really pay attention to our body unless it's in pain. And it also helps us to tune into what's going on in the world around us. So the NHS describe it as paying attention. And then I just wanted to give you another little definition. And this is by Professor Mark Williams. He is the UK's leading expert on mindfulness. He was a former director of the Oxford Mindfulness Centre. And he describes mindfulness as being aware of your own experience, moment to moment, and crucially without judgment. So whatever is going on for you, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, just being aware of what that is without a sense of judging it. So the reason why mindfulness is really helpful is that, we all live in a busy world. We've all got 1,000,001 things to do, and, to-do list as long as our arm. It's really easy to stop noticing. And it's really easy to lose touch with our bodies, and we end up living in our heads. And before I turned to mindfulness, this was certainly my experience. I was running around like a bit of a headless chicken. I had 2 young children, and my day was just getting through the to-do list and looking after my young children. And there was a low-level sense of urgency, and that was creating some anxiety. And it wasn't until I mentioned this to a friend and she said, oh, you need to practice some mindfulness. I didn't really know what that was at the time. This was about 7 years ago. And I decided to buy a book and listen to a CD, and pretty much changed my life. And it was so powerful and had such a meaningful change to my life that I decided to train in mindfulness and become a mindfulness teacher myself. And I use a lot of mindfulness with my clients because it's really incredibly powerful. So the act of mindfulness helps us to reconnect with our bodies. I mean, I've certainly been guilty of thinking that everything goes on in the world is up here, like around my head, and everything below my neck is just there to carry around my head. And so mindfulness helps us to recognize that actually we are more than just our mind, and we are a body as well. And it helps us to reconnect with our body and tune into the wisdom of what's present in our body. There's a lot of information. The body's always communicating with us, and it just helps us to reconnect with our body and understand what the body is trying to tell us. It also helps us to become more aware of our thoughts and how they drive our feelings and our behaviors. And the most powerful aspect of mindfulness for me, and I still practice mindfulness every single day, is mindfulness helps me to recognize when I am ruminating. So ruminating means going over the same thing over and over and over again. And we might think that that's helpful, but actually it's not. It makes us feel worse. So mindfulness helps me to recognize when I'm ruminating. It helps me to recognize when I'm experiencing negative or unwelcome thoughts. And it helps me to understand how those thoughts are making me feel. And so when I'm aware of that, mindfulness actually helps me to stop all of that in its tracks. And I would say that that is by far the strongest benefit in my own personal experience. But in a more general term, mindfulness basically helps us to understand ourselves a bit better. It helps us to enjoy life a little bit more, and it helps us to improve our mental well-being. So yeah, mindfulness is pretty wonderful. I'm a little bit biased, but I hope by the end of today's session, you will think it's pretty wonderful too. Okay, let's just have a look if there's any comments. All right, so welcome to Sue from Wiltshire, Joan from North Lincolnshire, Pat from South Lincolnshire. We've got Helen from Swanage. Hello, Helen. I'm in Bournemouth today, so welcome. We've got Gemma from Worthing, and we have got Sheena from Norfolk. So welcome to all of you. Really, really happy to have you here. Really honoured to be running this session for you today. So please keep your comments coming. If there's anything that you want to add, please do so. Okay, so let me just make sure that I'm in the right section. Hello, we've got Lynn from West Lothian in Scotland. Excellent. All right, welcome everybody. Really lovely to have you here. Okay, so we've covered what mindfulness is. If anybody's got any questions on mindfulness, just pop them in the comments and I will get to that whenever I can. All right, so benefits of mindfulness. Okay, so get on my soapbox a bit here, but I'll try not to, because the benefits of mindfulness are many and varied, which is really why I'm running this session today, because there's so many well-proven benefits of mindfulness, and I think it's really such a powerful thing to do. So there's a huge number of really good quality research studies that show that mindfulness in particular has a variety of benefits for our mental and physical well-being. Now, there are lots and lots of different types of meditation, so I am talking specifically about mindfulness. So it has been proven to reduce stress and exhaustion. It has been proven to relieve the symptoms of anxiety and depression. So in terms of our mental well-being, mindfulness is pretty powerful. Okay, so it's been proven to halve the risk of depression in those who suffer repeated bouts of severe depression. So with people who have depression over and over again, and it's pretty serious for them, my experience is that there's not a huge lot available for those people. There's talking therapy and there's drugs and there's other things where that they can practice. But when they suffer repeated bouts of depression, it's really difficult to be able to break through that. And mindfulness has been clinically proven to halve the risk of depression in people who really struggle with it. It has been proven to be at least as effective as antidepressants without the unwanted side effects. And the UK's National Institute for Health and Clinical Excellence declares mindfulness meditation as one of the preferred treatments for depression, which I think this is utterly amazing. I'm a little bit biased. I think it's amazing because, this practice is quick. I mean, it can take as long as you like, but the shortest meditation takes about 3 minutes. So it's really quick. It's really easy. You don't need anything special, and it's free. So really fantastic practical strategy that you can use in your day-to-day life to improve your mental and physical well-being. So while Mindspace Week and the World Mental Health Day is obviously about our mental well-being, mindfulness has been proven to have a significant number of benefits to our physical well-being as well, including lowering blood pressure, relieving the symptoms of chronic pain, improving our memory, increases physical and mental stamina, and remarkably, I find this astonishing as well, it bolsters our immune system, which is something that we all need right now. Okay, and the last benefit, and I will get off my soapbox in a minute, the last benefit is that brain scans have shown that just 8 weeks of regular mindfulness practice can positively change the physical structure of the brain. And I can go on about this forever, but I'm not going to do that. It changes the physical structure of the brain, which permanently improves our levels of happiness and well-being. And all of this means that positive psychology researchers agree that meditation is a meta strategy for improving our well-being and improving our underlying levels of happiness. And meta strategy means that it has really incredible impacts and positive effects for the amount of time and energy you put in. So if you have 5 minutes to do some mindfulness meditation, the benefits of that far outweigh the amount of time and effort that you're putting in to begin with. So really, really super powerful. And the last thing I want to say about this is that considering how positive mindful is for our mental well-being, Can you imagine if there was a drug that could do all of this? It's quick, it's easy, it's free, changes the physical structure of the brain, no unwanted side effects, and really permanently improves with regular practice. It permanently improves our mental well-being and happiness. Can you imagine what we would be doing if we had a drug that did all of that? We'd all be down at the doctor's. But we don't have to do that because we can practice mindfulness. So it's all really good. So that is the end of the benefit section. I will get off my soapbox and have a look at some of the comments. So Saz from sunny Lancashire says, can I recommend a good book on mindfulness? Yes, I can. There's an amazing book. It's called, just wondering if I have it. I do. Bear with me. It's always to hand. Is this one here. It's called Finding Peace in a Frantic World, A Practical Guide to Mindfulness. And it is by Mark Williams. So that's Professor Mark Williams, who was the former director of the Oxford Mindfulness Centre, and Danny Penman. So Mark Williams, there's actually, there's two aspects of mindfulness. There's mindfulness-based stress reduction. And the founder of that is a guy called Jon Kabat-Zinn, and he's written loads of books. And there is mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, and that was designed by Mark Williams. So that book in particular is about mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So anything by Mark Williams, utterly amazing, and he's got the world's most amazing voice. And anything by Jon Kabat-Zinn is also really good. They are the two kind of grandfathers of mindfulness, so to speak. So I hope that helps you, Saz. Okay. And yeah, thank you. Victoria's put in a link there to some free meditations. Now, those meditations are actually in this book. So you can buy the book, and you can see how much I use it with all my little things down the side. You can buy the book and it comes with a CD, or you can go onto that link that Victoria's put in the comments, and you can download, I think you can download them, but you can listen to them, and they're really, really good quality. So definitely recommend having a go with that. If you really like it, then absolutely buy the book because it is wonderful. Okay, and Heather says, what wonderful positive facts. Yes, absolutely, Heather. I could literally be here all day talking about the benefits of mindfulness. And, you know, considering how positive it is for our mental well-being, it's really astonishing to me that mindfulness is not available on the NHS. Or as far as I'm aware, it's not available on the NHS. It might be, you might know better than me. But certainly where I live in sunny Bournemouth, it is not available on the NHS. And I honestly think it should be. If we all did a bit of mindfulness every day, I think the world would be a better place. So with that in mind, I am going to introduce you to a lovely mindfulness meditation called Body and Breath. And this meditation is really fantastic for helping us to get out of our heads and to reconnect with our bodies. So like I said, there's a lot of wisdom below the neck. So let's just tune into what that is and what our body is telling us. Helps us to learn that our mind has a mind of its own, as all minds do. And our body has needs that we've probably ignored for far too long. And before I start this mindfulness meditation, I just want to share with you why I love mindfulness. So mindfulness is generally guided. So somebody is talking you through it. So today I'm going to do that. If you go on the link that Victoria's kindly put in the comments, it will be Professor Mark Williams talking you through those meditations. And that's really great because sometimes your mind can wander and it goes off on a little adventure on its own. And when you have a guided mindfulness meditation, it helps you to come back to what you're actually doing in the moment. So that's really helpful. The aim of mindfulness meditation is not to clear your mind of all thoughts. So some meditations, that is the aim, which is why I've never got on with them, because your mind is designed to think. That's what it does. So it will wander, and that's perfectly normal and natural. So mindfulness embraces that actually and uses the fact that your mind wanders as a tool. So your mind may well wander and go off on its own little adventure. And once you realize that it's wandered, you just bring it back to bring your attention back to the breath. Now, you might have to do that multiple times, and that's okay. That's completely normal. I've worked with a lot of clients who they find that quite frustrating, and I would invite you to just accept that as being really normal, because mindfulness is like a mental muscle. So the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. So if you practice mindfulness every day, or even for a few days, you will notice that actually the mind stays on the breath and on the body for longer and wanders less, and then you have to bring it back less as well. So to start with, it could be a lot of wandering and bringing back, but the more you do it, that does lessen. So if everybody's ready, I'm going to talk you through this meditation called Mindfulness of Body and Breath. So I just wanted to help you to get present to the moment. So if you'd just like to close your eyes, if that feels comfortable for you, or you can just simply lower your gaze. Just take a deep breath, allow yourself to land in this moment. Just feel your feet flat on the floor. Feel the chair supporting you. You could put your hands in your lap or wherever feels comfortable for you. Just tune into your breathing, and in this comfortable position, if you're sitting, just allow your spine to be straight, so your posture supports your intention to be awake and aware. Okay, so now I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath. So focus on the cool air entering your nose, filling your chest, your belly. And then when you're ready, just focus on the out breath and the warm air leaving your chest and your nose. And as you continue to soften your breath, just tune into any thoughts that your mind wants you to have. Just breathe into them on the exhale, just let them go, like little white fluffy clouds floating away on the breeze. Now I invite you to tune into your body. Just notice any areas where you might be holding on to tension. So this could be tension in the back, or the shoulders, or the neck, or the jaw. And wherever you're feeling that tension, just breathe into it, and on the exhale, just let it go. And allow yourself to relax and go deeper. Now I invite you to bring your awareness to the sensations of where the body is in contact with whatever is supporting you. And just spend a few moments exploring these physical sensations. And now gather your attention and move it to focus on your feet. So the spotlight of attention takes in the physical sensations of both feet and ankles. So tune into any and all sensations, moment by moment. And just notice how these sensations arise and dissolve in your awareness. And if there are no sensations in your feet, if you can't feel anything at all, that's perfectly okay. Just simply register a blank. We're not looking to make sensations happen. We're just simply paying attention to what is already here. Now we're going to move your attention and expand it to take in the lower legs, the shins and the calves. Now move your attention to take in the knees and the tops of the legs. And then hold in your attention all the way from your feet to the tops of your thighs, holding both legs center stage in your awareness. And now move your attention to move up the body to take in the pelvis and the hips and the lower back and the lower abdomen. What physical sensations can you register here? Now gradually expand your attention to move up the front and back of your torso, right up to the shoulders. And now expand your attention again to take in the left arm. And now the right arm. And now the neck. And the face. And the whole head. Until you're holding your whole body in awareness now. And see if it's possible to allow the sensations in your body to be just as they are. There's no need to control anything. And there's no need to want things to be different from how you find them. Just tune into the physical sensations of your body without judgment. Now bring your awareness to the center of your body and the sensations in the abdomen as the breath moves in and out of the body. And notice the changing patterns of the physical sensations of how you breathe. Fully alive to the sensations of breathing for the full duration of each in-breath and the full duration of each out-breath. And you may want to place your hand on your chest or your abdomen for a few breaths and notice these areas of your body rising and falling with each breath. There's no need to control the breath in any way at all. The body knows perfectly well how to breathe itself. Just simply allow the breath to breathe. And sooner or later, you'll probably find that the mind wanders away from the breath to thinking, planning, remembering, or daydreaming. When that happens, there's no need to criticize yourself. You can just simply register where the mind had wandered to, and then gently escort your attention back to the breath. And this mind wandering may happen over and over again because that is what the mind is designed to do. So each time you notice this, just register where the mind has been and then just gently escort your mind and your attention back to the breath. And you can use the stretches of silence now to practice this for yourself. returning back to the breath whenever the mind wanders. And for the last few moments of this guided mindfulness and meditation, I invite you to remember that the breath is always available to you to help bring you back into the present moment. So when you find your mind busy and scattered in the rush and frantic pace of your day-to-day life, or when you find difficult emotions or thoughts come up, remember that the breath is always here to anchor you to a place of stillness and peace. So when you're ready, you can just move your awareness beyond the breath to the body and to the room that you're in. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can take in the colours and the shapes around you. And you can return to the present moment. Okay. So thank you for sharing those few minutes of mindfulness meditation with me. When you're ready, I'd really like to hear how you got on with the meditation and how you feel now. So just tune into, or try and remember how you felt when you tuned into this session and how you feel now after the mindfulness meditation. And if you'd like to pop any comments or thoughts or anything that you'd like to share into the comments, I'd like to pop those into the comments as well, and we'll have a look at those. Okay, so I'm just going to, while you're typing, I'm just going to have a look at the comments that we've had recently. So Gemma says that she's looking forward to the mindfulness exercise, which I hope you enjoyed that, Gemma. And you said that you do mindfulness looking at nature and flowers and the squirrels, which is amazing. There's a really lovely mindfulness meditation that you can do when you're walking, Absolutely. Like when you're out in nature, then it's a lovely place to practice mindfulness. Lots to look at, lots of colours and shapes and sounds. Lovely. Right, what else have we got? Gemma says, how do you stop mindfulness making you sleepy or falling asleep? Well, that's quite tricky. And what I would say is that sitting up is the best thing to do. In the early days, I used to practice mindfulness on my bed. So I would be lying down and I would fall asleep within minutes. So now I practice it sitting up. And there is it's not really a rule, but there's a recommendation that when you sit up in your chair, you sit with your spine away from the chair slightly. So you sit upright and erect, and that helps you to stay awake. That's the reason why they ask you to do that. However, that's not always comfortable. So I think if you can just sit up and rest your back against the back of the seat, if you're feeling any discomfort, that's absolutely fine as well. And mindfulness is amazing at helping you fall asleep. But if you can sit up, then that does absolutely help you to stop falling asleep. Okay, Sue says, goodness, I feel so calm now. Brilliant. That's really good. Anne says, that was lovely and I feel really calm and lovely to escape and relax. Yeah, that's lovely, Anne. I mean, that's what it's for. It's to help you to move out of the rush and busyness of your life, or the rush and busyness of your head. I mean, your life might not be that busy, but your head might be. And it just gives you a bit of space and a bit of a respite, really, to move out of that rush and frantic busyness. Lisa says she feels better. Thank you. It's my pleasure, Lisa. Okay. Francis says, will there be a recording? Oh, sorry. Fran says, will there be a recording? I think there will, Fran. Victoria might want to answer that question. I think there is a recording. Joan says, thank you. I feel grounded, calm and relaxed. Lovely. Brilliant. That's good to know, Joan. Martha says, thank you so much. I've just taken a note of your words. The breath is always here to anchor you. Absolutely. This is the point of mindfulness. It's like you don't need anything particular. You can just use your breath, just focusing on your breath for a few minutes. If you can't access a recording, which sometimes you won't be able to, you can just focus on your breath. Just taking your mind out of its head, focusing on the breath. Brilliant. So that's all you need. Glad to hear that you will practice. Brilliant. Excellent, Martha. Linda says, joined halfway and so glad I did. Welcome, Linda. Hope you can catch up with the recording if you'd like to. Janie says, thank you. Really enjoyed it. We'll continue to practice. Christine says, thank you. But I might have dozed off for a few seconds. That's all right, Christine. But I feel very calm now. That's brilliant. Okay, so that mindfulness meditation, I think, was about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So it wasn't long. So if you can imagine what you felt like when you joined and what you feel like now after 20 minutes, I mean, hopefully that you have experienced those benefits for yourself. So you can know what it's like, and you can practice that yourself by just tuning into the breath if you choose to do so. And then, as I said earlier, there is a link in the comments, which Victoria's put in the link, where you can tune in and you can listen to and download some really high quality mindfulness meditations, which for you, Linda, are from this book. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Mindfulness, A Practical Guide to Finding Peace in a Frantic World by Mark Williams and Danny Penman. So that link is to the meditations from that book, which, to be honest with you, that book, I credit that book with a lot, and I would actually say it changed the course of my life. It was that powerful. So on the front, it does say somewhere, if you can see, the life-changing bestseller. And usually I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. But it really was for me. So, and it got me onto the road to becoming a mindfulness teacher and sharing this wonderful practice with lots of people. Okay. Sheena says, you have a beautiful voice for this. Oh, thank you, Sheena. Thank you. Clear, calm, concise, and very soothing. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Sue says, time very well spent. It's funny that it's called mindfulness, yet we are trying to empty our minds while we are doing it. Yes, good point, Sue. I would say it's about not having your mind full with the rush and business of your life, but having your mind full of, right, what's going on in my head right now? What emotions am I experiencing? What's my body telling me? And it's kind of taking a bit of a break out of the craziness that life can sometimes be, and just tuning into ourselves. So it's having your mind full of that. Linda says, thank you. It's been good to see you and hear you. Well, thank you very much, Linda. It's been a real pleasure to work with you guys today. So if anyone has any questions, please type them in the comments. And while you're typing, I'll just want to ask you to really ponder what you got from today's session. If you found it useful, then great. If you'd like to practice it yourself, there is the link that Victoria's put in the comments. And I'd just like you to have a little bit of a think about when you might practice mindfulness. When would be a good time for you to practice mindfulness? And see if you can incorporate that in your day-to-day life. So for me, really amazing time to practice mindfulness is when you get up in the morning. However, in my house, I've got 2 young children and they're usually screaming by the time I get up. So that's not a good time for me. So what I do is I do 5 minutes of mindfulness when I come home from dropping them off at school. And then I do another half an hour if I can manage it. It doesn't often happen, but at least 5-10 minutes before I pick them up from school. And this is something that I share with my clients a lot. And there is a lovely mindfulness meditation called the 3-minute breathing space. It's only 3 minutes, although it can be as long as you like. And the 3-minute breathing space is really wonderful when you're feeling anxious, or when you're feeling a bit het up, or when there's emotions or thoughts that you're not really enjoying. You can use the 3-minute breathing space. It is on that link, to just take some time out to tune in what's going on with you. I teach this to all of my coaching clients. And I have had clients say to me, I have had one recently say to me that he credits the 3-minute breathing space with saving his marriage. So what he does is, well, when he used to actually go to the office to work, he would do the 3-minute breathing space either before he left the office, if that was appropriate, or he would do it in the car on the way home. This was when he was very, very experienced and obviously wasn't shutting his eyes because he was driving. But before then, he would park up outside his house, and he would do the 3-minute breathing space then, so he could let work go and let go of all of that stuff going on in his head and all of that tension and anxiety in his body. He could let that go. So when he actually walked through the door, he was in a different mind space, or a different frame of mind when he met his wife and his children. And that's had a huge impact on his relationship. And he, like I said, he credits it with saving his marriage. So really powerful, like I said. So Lisa says, what a responsible man. Yeah, he was. And part of the reason why it was because he was unbelievably stressed at work. And that was one of the reasons why he was coaching with me. So the other thing that he used to do, and I've certainly done this, when I have got a really, really busy, stressful day, and when I used to work in a big corporate environment, which I don't now, every time I went to the toilet, I would do the 3-minute breathing space, because that was the only time I had to breathe. And that was really helpful, because instead of my stress levels escalating as the day went on, whenever I went to the bathroom and did the 3-minute breathing space, it would just bring it back down a little bit. So by the end of the day, my stress levels would be here instead of up here. And that was like really, really helpful for me. Okay, so if anybody's got any questions, please type them in the comments box. But yes, my last bit of homework for you if you choose to accept it, is just have a little bit of a think whether you would like to incorporate mindfulness in your daily routine, and if so, when would be a good time for you to do so. So I don't think there's any more questions. Thank you all so much for your lovely comments. It was really lovely to spend this time with you today. I'm so grateful for all your positive comments. That's really, really made my day. And I hope that you really enjoy the mindfulness meditation. Like I said, I'm not here all week, but I'm here tomorrow, and I am doing a session on self-care, and self-care to improve your well-being and to build resilience. So it's self-care to build your resilience. And I'm here again on Thursday when I am doing a session on the art and science of gratitude. It's not very sciencey. I'm just going to share with you some of the positive psychology research as to why gratitude is a really, really good idea, and I explain some ways that you can incorporate a gratitude practice into your daily life. So thank you so much for your kind comments, everybody. Thank you so much for Victoria today to moderate the session, and yeah, really look forward to seeing you either tomorrow or Thursday. And just remember, there's loads and loads of fantastic content this week for the Royal Voluntary Service Mindspace Week. Yeah, really look forward to seeing you again. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely afternoon. See you later. Bye.